Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Gamers of the internet, I'm so incredibly happy right now. I've played several hours of the Silent Hill 2 remake, and I absolutely love it. I was so afraid that Konami was going to pull a Konami and publish a piece of trash. But thank the Lord that's not the case. Bloober Team gave us a truly phenomenal survival horror game. So background on me, I've played through the original Silent Hill 2 once before, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So I didn't grow up with the series. But now in my adult life, I've played through all 4 of the originals. If you want to see my first time playing Silent Hill 1, I have a video about my experience with that game here. I love survival horror games. And among survival horror, I love Silent Hill an especially large amount. I had very high hopes for Silent Hill 2 Remake. Of course, my expectations were tempered because, you know, Konami, but still, I was very excited for this game. I've done enough rambling at this point. It's time to get into the nitty-gritty of why I like this game so much. If you like these kinds of videos, please leave me a like and a subscribe. Alright, let's jump in. The feel of walking around the town is still very much intact. Enemies patrol around and are generally non-threatening, as long as you're wearing your Nikes. I don't know if I'm misremembering, but I think the remake has way less dead ends and turnarounds compared to the original. It feels like they've adjusted the level design to flow more naturally instead of making the player feel all lost and confused. There's upsides and downsides to this.
Nope.
I think in the year of our Lord 2024, we gamers usually expect levels to direct our attention in the direction of progress. Even if some of the magic of wandering around like a blind mouse is gone, this adjustment is probably a good thing overall. The streamlined level design also extends to the classic dungeons and interior environments. I found it was generally much easier to figure out where to go compared to the original. I would describe navigation kind of like a spiral. You make a ton of loops through the environment, but you really only follow the direction of progress without many detours, if that makes sense. It's still incredibly fun to navigate these dungeons, and the devs do a good job of hiding any linearity that does exist. While you explore these dungeons, you'll still find some items sitting out on counters in full view, but there's also openable drawers and cabinets that sometimes have goodies inside. If I had to guess, I'd assume that these nooks are part of a dynamic difficulty system, filling up the more shit you play. I obviously can't prove that, but after Resident Evil 4, I have an internal conspiracy that every game has dynamic difficulty. Items can also be found in the overworld, but instead of just sitting randomly on the ground like in the original, they're usually inside smaller buildings like bars, diners, or Hot Topic. Obviously, it's super cool to explore more interiors of Silent Hill, but it's even cooler to commit vandalism. Silent Hill Remake features breakable windows, the purpose of which is to collect hidden away items, or to gain access to entire buildings. It's just another fun thing to look out for as you navigate this desolate town. That being said, you don't use this big old 2x4 just to smash and grab. The main thing you're going to be doing with this stick is beating up enemies like a piñata. It's time to talk about the combat.
Come here, I'm gonna kick your ass!
The combat is really good in Silent Hill 2 Remake. The biggest difference from the original by far is the inclusion of a dodge button. Finally, they turned Silent Hill into Dark Souls, baby! I jest, of course. But the dodge functionality does make combat a lot more engaging. It took a while for my dumb monkey brain to catch on, but eventually I realized that just spamming your dodge move or your attack move isn't gonna cut it. You need to look for tells in the enemy attacks, then dodge at the right time, and then get in for a counterattack. The enemy that teaches this best, at least in my opinion, are the legs. Man, fuck the legs. All my homies hate the legs. Of course, you can also just start blasting if melee is too high risk. So far in my playthrough, ammo has been very plentiful. Additionally, enemies will full-on stagger when you shoot them with a bullet. Any attack animation they're getting ready for, you could just pull out the ultimate Uno reverse card and stop them dead in their tracks. But I think the best way to engage with the combat is to mix together melee and ranged while dodging up close. You can evade an enemy attack, get in a hit, back off, then shoot the enemy out of a wind-up attack, just to get in for another melee to finish the fight. This seriously feels like gun fu. Man, they turned James into fucking John Wick, as long as you're skilled enough to pull that off. Combat in the original Silent Hill was fun enough. You know, overcoming the jankiness was super satisfying. But just like with level design, modern gamers expect modern sensibilities. There's less emphasis on your positioning and more emphasis on rapid heat-of-the-moment decision-making. In my opinion, this Adderall-fueled combat is a lot more fun, even if it is very different from the OG. In terms of things that stayed mostly the same as the 2001 release, we gotta talk about the cutscenes. The performances and conversations are perfect. Dialogue still sounds weird and off-kilter, but it also sounds slightly more modernized?
This town, there's something wrong with it? And it's not just the fog, either.
Is it dangerous?
Maybe.
It's like, you know, almost normal, but it still isn't. It's kind of like listening to people talk in a dream. I'm very happy they managed to keep the strangeness of the original without it just sounding poorly acted or something. The actors here are fucking incredible. Despite the obvious danger that everyone is in, they all act super chill and nonchalant. James's voice actor is especially phenomenal at pulling this off.
What? No, Sorry, I'm just a bit preoccupied.
It's fine. You know, if there's anything you want to talk about, anything at all.
No. Let's just keep moving.
His voice reminds me a lot of like a tired single father. He, and everyone else, reads this script perfectly. All this combines with the animations to make a truly ethereal and wonderful set of cutscenes. If you liked the original performances, I think you'll like these new ones a lot too. If you don't like these new performances though, I understand. Actually, I understand if you prefer everything the original had to offer. This remake is a different game. And if you like the old school style more, who am I to say you're wrong? But this remake does so much, so well, that it absolutely justifies its own existence. I could go on about more minute details, but for now I think I've done my job. If you couldn't tell, I have been having an absolute blast playing Silent Hill 2 Remake, and I'm eager to get back to playing more? If you would like a more comprehensive review when I'm done with the game, let me know. I have a feeling I could talk laps around this thing. Also, please subscribe to my channel. I make a lot of gaming and weeb shit type content, so if that sounds interesting to you, please check some of it out. Thank you so much for watching my brief review of the Silent Hill 2 remake. Have a wonderful day, everyone.